So volume, you might think should be on there. It's actually not on there. Okay. So amount of substance, and in the second half of this course, we'll talk about chemistry. And in chemistry, we'll talk a lot about the mole. This is not your furry little, burrowing friend. This is just the name of an amount of substance. And it all has to do with the periodic table and all that sort of stuff, the atomic masses that are on the periodic table. But we'll talk more about that later. That's a whole unit in itself, okay? But you just have to memorize this for now. Amount of substance, mole. And the symbol is MOL, okay? All lowercase. Okay, temperature. All right, temperature is another unit, and technically thermodynamic temperature is the quantity, thermodynamic temperature. And it's not Fahrenheit, it's not Celsius, it's actually a unit called the Kelvin. And it's okay if you've never heard of this before, all right? It's okay if it's named after a scientist. And the reason why we use Kelvin instead of degrees Celsius is that Kelvin is based on absolute zero. So 0 Kelvin is actually, and this may seem like science fiction to you, but it's actually the coldest temperature that anything can ever get. Nothing can get colder than 0 Kelvin. And that may be a surprise to you that, what do you mean there's an absolute coldest temperature? Yeah, there is. It's called absolute zero. And that's where all atomic vibration stops even. There's no friction at all, there's no motion, there's no heat generated at all. It's like totally depleted of heat, okay? Which is, very cold. You'd be surprised actually how cold it is. It's not thousands of degrees Celsius in the negative at all. It's actually only negative 273 degrees Celsius. And that's as cold as anything in the universe can ever get. That's pretty weird, eh? So anyway, so Kelvin is the unit, and we'll talk more about this later as well. Okay, let's just finish up. 2 more things. Electric current, electricity. Okay, the current of electricity, and the standard unit is the Ampere. And it is symbolized by the uppercase A. So of course, when you talk about how many amps can this circuit carry, or how much what's the amperage of going through this light bulb or whatever, we're talking about the electric current. Okay, and finally, intensity of light. That's another standard unit. So how bright something is, basically. And this is a strange unit as well, you've probably never heard of, but it's called the Candela. What do you suppose the root word of this word is? What is this based on? Candle, yeah. It's kind of like candle power a little bit. It's called the Candela, and the symbol is lowercase c, lowercase d, CD. Okay? So these are the international units, okay? And there are 7 of them, and you need to commit these to memory, okay? So you need to memorize this chart. You need to be able to list off all 7, which shouldn't take you a whole lot of time to study, but list off all 7, what the unit name is, and its symbol. Okay? So commit this chart to memory. You can start doing that now, and we'll pick up the next lesson, the rest of the lesson tomorrow, which we're going to be talking about the metric prefixes right here. You bet. You'll have to memorize this too. Absolutely.